And she's moving on so quickly. They expected her to be crying and rolling on the floor. They say she's disgracing the family. But they did not remember when maybe it was their brother that disgraced her first. Someone says someone I used to know would often warn her exes to behave properly even after they've broken up. Because if they behaved anyhow, she would deny that she ever dated them. Africans are funny. A man died in the very act of adultery, but his relatives prefer his wife to pretend she's hurt, and their eyes are on his property and children. Very greedy, wicked, and shameless people. Why can't they mourn how they want and leave her alone? Why do they feel entitled to her showing grief the way they prefer? Their brother had health issues, yet they couldn't caution him to respect himself. But the world should end because their mother is crying. If he had died when he was with his wife, they would have blamed her, even when they knew of his health problems. Their brother chose his legacy, but she should use all the money on the funeral of a disrespectful man to satisfy his relatives. Then she'll start begging to feed or pay school fees tomorrow. If they like, they should harass her so that the truth about how their brother really died will become public knowledge, since their family is shameless. But hey, she was his wife. He was her husband. And once upon a time, they were, what's it called now? Bone of bone and flesh of flesh. Even if he died under a shameful condition, shouldn't she at least? Or is he doing this out of hurt? You get mind. You don't make this kind of thing. And you just say, Nabi she. You lie. I really lie. Or is it her own way of dealing with the grief? Lebari from Bori. Hi, Lebari.
Yeah, good afternoon, Madam Didi.
Good afternoon to you, Lebari.
Yeah, the other second story. Don't you feel that man maybe married that lady somewhere with the first wife?
Hold on. You see, I was careful to say we shouldn't focus on the story, but the circumstances. All right? That is instance one. Some other person may have died. Any shameful conditions under which people have died, knowing they have spouses to mourn them. You know how when somebody died, they write left to mourn him, her, or left to mourn her. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Madam Didi. Yeah, Madam Didi. Whatever be the circumstances, that person does not know anything called shame. So the person has committed the act and he has gone. Where is it left for the family to decide either anything you do to the dead person, you are just like, okay, just for example, see, after you are dead, what else that follow? Let the judgment fall between you and your God. But whatever, whether you bury it in a restful way or a shameful way, the dead body has nothing, you don't know anything about it.
Now, the dead clearly will not know anything, but the living are living with the aftermath of that your shameful action.
It has nothing to do with me. So far, the living is not the one that committed the act. No, the sin of a father cannot be transferred to the son.
Okay.
So, shame. Living with me.
Okay.
So be very careful why I'm living.
Careful how you're living. Let's back to those days. Remember those days? I wanted to settle down with someone. We're asked questions where you may have died storing things. These were things that happened times before we were even born. But let me use Mr. Akpaka that was very notorious for this and that. Mr. Akpaka is no more. But Mr. Akpaka has a living family. And they do that background check. And it so happens that either the man or the woman is from the Akpaka's family. Like I said, Mr. Akpaka, and the legacy of Mr. Akpaka is he was a very, very whatever name you can think of. And And for some reason, we have a way of finding down what Mr. Akpaka did. This one when Mr. Akpaka do like this. Just say this in son where you want marry. Or you just say this in daughter where you want marry. Those were how things used to be back then. Do background checks anymore. But this is mommy is late. Oh my God, God rest her soul. And then they say, which family is that? Check. And the mom is late, but the news around town is that the mom, while she was cheating on the husband in one hotel like that. Then my son won't go marry a daughter. You must imagine how it is for us to deal with grief, knowing that we are not all perfect. But how about that it makes more sense that we will miss you. It hurts us that you're gone. We would rather want you here with us. But how did you die? Again, will the cause of your spouse's death determine how you mourn them? Should you be under an obligation not to reveal the real cause of your spouse's death when they die under shameful conditions? He passed on to glory, died after a brief illness. Which sad event occurred on? Nobody wants to know the details. But there are those who genuinely care. What did really happen? And they're asking those questions because it just might help. Someone just slumped and died. My dear, they say it's low blood sugar. Low blood sugar, so if they do young person, and then you start reevaluating your life choices and you want to live a healthier life so that one day it wouldn't be you. Or, high blood pressure. I hear say that high blood pressure, they do people well. Now malaria. Take note. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. What you really do? My sister. Don't die now. You don't think kill her. My dear. They say my husband died a top woman. Yeah. Hey. And the moment they just say it, the pain comes back. He was even cheating on me. You know how you see, you want to wake him up. You want like, wake up! How dare you die? Wake up, come and face me. So it was not enough for you, Wake up, come and look at me. You're shameless. But they can't do all of that. And to be honest, they may not want to say it, but they know. Everybody close knows. A man killed his sons because he was a strong native doctor in Ahoda. His granddaughter was turned down in marriage because of the history in their family. Pere from Ajib. How do you know he killed his sons? One of the reasons people do certain things is because they think others will be ashamed. Personally, nobody can give me shame that is not mine. Around for on anyone that behaves associate from you. I will not create more acceptable stories to launder the image of anyone who wants to shame me. DDW, I left my own younger brother in an Abuja jail. Not fiction or imagination. Real life. They called me, texted me frantically that he had been arrested. I pretended to be interested so I could get the full gist because I knew he had to have done something wrong. Then I told them to bury the matter so it doesn't appear in the media because I still bear my maiden name for work and I didn't want unnecessary attention after I had worked hard. Anyone that behaves anyhow will see anyhow. It is not me they will shame. Charles from Aba. Welcome, Charles.
Didi, is there any story about Penny Kamikayo?
Charles, how long have you been listening?
I just came in, but I had you when you were narrating about Femi Fanikayode. I was listening to know whether you repeat it again.
Okay, so how long have you been listening? Can you give me a time range? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
About 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
But the truth is that what you are saying now is still happening. Before we marry, we must investigate whether the mother of the girl is a good woman.
Why is it?
The father is a good man.
Okay. What about the mother and father of the boy?
We investigate too.
Okay. And do you know why we're having this conversation? So apparently you came in between. So I'll just bring you up to speed with what we're talking about. We're talking navigating family secrets and protecting the legacy of the dead. So Charles, let me ask you this as a direct question. Will the cause of your wife's death determine how you mourn them, especially if they died under shameful condition?
Yes.
Maybe your wife died while cheating on you. Or maybe she died when she went to steal something.
I will not mourn her. If she died in a shameful way, I will not mourn her.
Okay.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because she died in a shameful way. Because if she died stealing or cheating, I will not mourn her. But I can only help in burying her and go my way.
You will help in burying her. And why would you do that?
Just to make sure that, because she's my wife.
Okay.
I'll not leave her corpse on the to rot away.
Okay. Now, what if you were asked, for instance, waiting kill your wife? Will you tell people exactly what killed her, or would you cook up a story to cover up her legacy?
Because if she died in a shameful way, I might be ashamed to tell people what killed her.
Okay.
Unless my closest person.
Okay.
Unless my closest person.
Okay.
But I will not tell outsiders because I'll be ashamed to say it.
You'll be ashamed to say it. Okay, so you now understand what the conversation we're having. Okay. And the reason I mentioned Fani Kayode was because sometime last year, his personal aide died. And he put out a post stating that this man was a Catholic and he went to mass that same morning. But later in the evening or later in the day, he went to lodge in a hotel and he was with an individual in the hotel when he died.
Okay.
And back then people were like, he shouldn't have said that part of the, he shouldn't have given out that much information. Okay. All right. So,
one of our sisters.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Charles. Let's go on a break.
Nigeria Info will